Alright guys, this is Ice, and this is going to be my introduction for a TGN video. So this is going to be the first video I am submitting to TGN as my kind of application. This is for TGN Idol, so if you're watching this on my channel, that's what it's for. And before the game really starts kicking into action, I should probably just kind of give a really brief introduction. So I play StarCraft 2, obviously. I still play Warcraft 3 a little bit, and I used to play Call of Duty. Don't play it that much because I don't like Black Ops at all, so I still play COD 4 a bit on PC. And that's basically what I play right now. And as for why I want to join TGN, well, a friend showed it to me a little while ago, and ever since I've kind of started watching their videos, especially StarCraft 2, because that's really what I'm interested in. And I noticed there was kind of a lack of StarCraft 2 videos, well, in my opinion, and like especially on the forums of StarCraft 2 is dead. Like if you go there, no one posts or anything, so I thought maybe I could fill the void a bit if they liked my videos, and hopefully they will critique me and I can improve from this one, and we'll see what they think about the second and third videos. So without me blabbering on any longer, I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking about the game now. So, as the red Protoss over here, we have LiquidHuk. He won the DreamHack 2011 tournament. He is one of the best Protoss players in the world, definitely one of the best in North America. And over here is the blue Zerg. We have NosLoki, or NosLoki, not exactly sure how you pronounce that. I'm not familiar with this player, but nonetheless he is a high level player. And he has gone for a hatchery first, and I'm just going to pull up the production tab here. He has gone for a hatchery first and should be going for the spawning pool pretty soon, otherwise it would be just a tad late and that could harm him. So we should be seeing that come out right now. He is on 17 supply. I'm surprised we haven't seen it on 16. Yeah, there we go, there's the spawning pool just coming up for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, just moving the Overlord across. I'm not sure if he has scouted his opponent yet, and actually LiquidHuk is going for a Forge fast expand, so he's going to be going for a very early Nexus, and this could be very good for him actually, because and what's going on over here? Huk just spamming a bunch of pylons and photon cannons, sorry. All those are going to get taken down though, so that was kind of a waste of time I think by Huk, and he needs to watch out with these probes. Oh, they just got caught there. Those are going to go down. So I think that was kind of a waste of time by Huk. Not sure exactly why he did that, because the hatchery was already going up and it is now finished. Anyhow, Huk is going to be going for that very early Nexus, and I think that this could benefit him because the Zerg player did go for a hatchery first, but not just that. He got the spawning pool pretty late actually, on 17 supply, so I think Huk is going to be just fine really. I don't think he's going to really have to deal with any early aggression just because of the type of build the Zerg player has gone for, and it's not like he's going to start making Zerglings now because he doesn't really have any saturation at all at this base, and this base doesn't have full saturation either. So we'll see what happens here now. And of course I haven't seen this game before. I don't watch the games before I cast them because I think that's kind of boring, and not just for me but for whoever watches, so I don't really like that. And a pylon going down here as well as a photon cannon, and usually when the Protoss players go for an expansion they put a pylon here at the foot of the ramp and kind of make somewhat of a wall towards the Nexus, but we're not seeing exactly that by LiquidHuk here, who is of course following up the Forge by a gateway. And usually when these players go for such an early Nexus, we see something like a 4 or 5 gate push later on, and then they add on a couple more gateways, so like 3 or so, maybe even 4 more gateways later on, and go for a series of pushes which can be extremely effective if the Zerg player is not prepared. And the Zerg player going for the appropriate response, which is a hatchery. Again, like I said, he is in no position really to mass an army and do any damage at the middle line here, just because of the type of build he's gone for. So he has gone for a third hatchery because Zerg players always need to be one base ahead of their Protoss or Terran counterparts. So he is going for the Cybernetics core over here. That should be done pretty soon, and we'll see what kind of units he's really gonna form his composition out of. I would assume it should be mainly Zealots really in the beginning, just because I'm pretty sure he got these just a little bit late, and also I personally prefer, well, this is just me, but Zealots against Zerglings, because if you can surround a bunch of Stalkers with Zerglings, they're pretty much gone, whereas Zealots just chop them apart. And he should also go for probably a good amount of sentries just to stop the Zerg player from getting a good surround or doing a run by or any sort of damage into his base. So that's probably what we're going to be seeing a bit later on, or he may actually go for a combination of Stalkers and Zealots. But a sentry is out, which is probably the best thing to get out early in the game, just because of the force field, just because his gateway was so late. But again, he's not really going to have the early aggression problems from the Zerg player, like I just said. So, Zerg player, he does have 2 Vespene Gazers, and he did get those pretty late, I think around 40 supply. And that kind of reminds me of a player called Spanishiwa, who likes to get all 4 Vespene Gazers at 40 supply, so... And he's probably one of my favorite Zerg players. 2 Zerglings just harassing the pylon, gonna go down on just a little lag spike there, I'm not exactly sure why that is. Nonetheless, the game is continuing on with a Spore Crawler going on in the expansion over here, and I think there was another one somewhere. There. Oh, here it is, just covered by that Overlord there. So he may be scared of a kind of a Void Ray Phoenix push, which is kind of common actually, but usually not this late. Although since the Zerg player went for gas so late, he doesn't really have any anti-air to speak of besides his queen, so he's going to want to be prepared for anything like that. But the Protoss player not going to be going for any type of Stargate, anything like that. And Zealots and Sentries, this looks like it's going to be his first push, and the Zerg player getting out a couple of Roaches, which should help him a lot if the Zerglings cannot get a proper surround here. So we'll see exactly what happens if the Roaches are able to back up the Zerg player properly. The Roach is just popping, and the engagement has started. There are 2 force fields stopping the Zerglings from getting a proper surround. So, a pretty good engagement by the Protoss. He should probably pull away though and wait for a second wave of reinforcements rather than stay in the battle. It would be great if he could actually catch the Queens there. Queens should not move off creep. And another wave just there coming in. And oh, nice force fields trapping the 2 Queens. This is not really... Well, it is great defensively, but especially in terms of spawning larvae, just because there's only 1 queen between these 2 bases now, so the Zerg player is just going to be at a slight disadvantage until another queen spawns. And the Protoss player now warping in a wave of Stalkers, so he should be looking pretty good in this next attack. However, there are a lot of Roaches for the Zerg player. See what happens here, trying to take up the Spore Crawler. And another queen coming in. Drones are being pulled off the line. The Zerg player is getting just a little bit desperate, but the Roaches are really helping here in the front to clean up the melee forces, and the Stalkers probably should fall back. He doesn't want to overextend himself, although he has done pretty well so far. Another wave of Zealots coming in. I don't think he should really engage this number of Roaches though. He should probably wait for another wave of backup. The Protoss player doing very well. Although armies were traded, he did do a significant amount of damage to the mineral line, and that's really what counts, especially against the Zerg player who has just expanded. Stalker's not going to really want to get caught off position, especially with Zerglings. This is what I was talking about before. If they can get a nice surround, they can just eat up those Stalkers right away, and he should probably pull these Zerglings away until the Roaches get there. He could save these, and the Roaches, oh, going the other way. What a micro slip there. Zerg player could have saved pretty much all of those forces if he just pulled them back for maybe 2 seconds and waited for the Roaches to come. Now it looks like the Zerg player is finally going to take down these 2 proxy pylons and run away the Protoss push, so we probably wouldn't be seeing the Protoss player LiquidHuk do any pushes of his own, and it will probably come from the Zerg player unless LiquidHuk does something kind of crazy. He is getting out an observer right now. He should probably try to chrono boost some Immortals after that, because the Immortals directly counter Roaches, and the Zerg player has gone for mass Roaches. He is now trying to get his drone count back up over here, and I think, yeah, over here is not fully saturated either. He is getting up 2 Vespene Gazers over there, so the Zerg player looking pretty okay in terms of macro now. He just has to regain his economy. Meanwhile, pushing out with some Roaches. We'll see if he actually intends to do some damage here, or if he's just poking and prodding. Oh, looks like the Protoss player trying to build a Nexus, but there is a buried Zergling over here, so that's probably pretty annoying for LiquidHuk. Meanwhile, the Roach is not actually... I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. I don't think he's sure either. He doesn't know if he really wants to engage or not. If he could catch these Zealots out of position, that would be great, but not gonna happen. He's gonna wanna... yeah, there we go. Bring in some Stalkers. Not gonna wanna engage those Roaches with only those melee units. So... and one Observer as well. Just cleaning off that Zerg, and LiquidHuk is gonna know exactly what is going on with that Observer. And finally going for a third expansion. The Zerg player now could opt to go for a fourth, or he could go for a pretty big push at this point, which I think he probably will do because he hasn't gone for a push yet. Or he may expand and push at the same time, so he has 600 minerals. He could really start building up an army here, which is what we kind of see. He is going for a Baneling's Nest, and he's also going for the Overlord's speed and carrying capacity, which kind of reminds me, there's a player called Spanishiwa, who basically what he does is he engages the army, the opponent's army, and then he drops a bunch of Banelings into the middle, which this player may be going for. Just saying that because I noticed the Overlord upgrades as well as the Baneling Nest coming up around the same time, so I think maybe he's decided to go for that strategy. And the Zerg player just may they're forcing one cancel, and just running away, not really engaging, of course, not wanting to do that with so many Stalkers, which is easily back up against the wall to reduce the amount of surface area that Zerglings can attack. He does have a Twilight Council, so we should be seeing probably Blink maybe, or the Zealot upgrade, which is Charge, or he may just be using that to diversify his tech. So, more gateways as well. The Protoss player does have a fair amount of gateways, maybe 7 or 8, something like that. And I just saw Baneling... oh, there we go. Okay, so he is actually going for the Baneling drop. We'll see how efficiently he's able to carry this out. The thing with this Baneling drop is that if you don't really get it in the center of the army and you only hit the edges, it can be a waste, especially if the army can kite you or run away, just run away. So we'll see how effectively he's able to use this, and it looks like it's going to happen pretty soon. He shouldn't really use it on the Zealots, I don't think. There are a lot of Immortals there to soak up now. We should probably drop them on the Stalkers. A lot going here by the Zealots. And now moving over to the Stalkers, he is dropping a fair amount. A pretty large amount of damage was done, but I don't think it was the most effective use of that Baneling drop, just because a lot of them actually hit the edge of the forces. But I think it was really enough to kind of turn the tides of this fight here. And looks like the Zerg player might actually take the game right now. Should probably focus down these 2 Immortals because they do counter Roaches. And there's a GG from LiquidHuk. So, a pretty good game. I think the Overlord drop by the Zerg could have been a bit more efficient, but it did do the job. And like I said, this was my video for TGN. So, I hope you guys like it. And critique, I will try to improve on my next video. So, thanks for watching.